Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading session. Hang on here. I'll get you my monitor. The market just opened up. All right, so what we're looking at here, of course, is the NASDAQ market. I've also got soybeans and crude oil up this morning, but I can take a look at whatever is of interest to you. Hold on here 1 second. Just got to get my charts correctly organized. All right, so let's take a look here what's been going on in the NQ in the overnight session. This is the Raptor. And where did we go? Oh, a little bit of a decline, a lot of a decline. Oh man, the London Open right about here somewhere. Where are you? And the market just heading a lot lower. This is going to look like a great big opening gap to traders this morning. Look at how quickly it came down there and continued lower for most of the session, reversed only about an hour or so before the North American Open, and here we are. So we've had the cloud changeover on the Raptor, and we're coming back into the hard edge. We'll see if that produces a bounce and a buy signal. It looks like it's going that route. Getting a possible late filter entry signal here on the Falcon also. This is all very early, of course. Yeah, we're only about 2 or 3 minutes into the session. This is a late filter entry signal, and it does tend to be a high probability signal. The problem, of course, is we're 3 minutes into the session. I suppose we could set it up like that. Oh, we could even dial down the risk on it a little bit, or maybe run a deeper stop as an alternative. Maybe just put a onesie on it, something like that. You can see that we're way down here in our support and resistance suite assortment, well into the secondary support zones. Okay, getting a bunch of interesting signals now. Now we're getting a red bar buy signal here off of the hawk. Ooh, and that quickly turned around and turned into a failure. So a lot of activity this morning. We'll Just give them a few minutes here to get their bearings. Jim says, good morning, Eric. I'm not even bothering with the advanced decline today. It's that bad. Yeah, it's looking pretty crazy here. Wow, all this waffling. Yeah, Joe says it's the plane taking off. It's revving up, revving its engines. It's pretty crazy, all right. All right, so here we come with the first micro-macro cross signal. Sorry, my computer. I'd better run a few antivirus programs. My poor computer really seems to be dragging of late. All right, so first micro-macro cross, we had an attempt to go lower. It seems to have failed. We seem to have broken out above the highs here. I'm trying to risk the trade fairly deep. And we'll readjust our entry parameters. The idea here is just in case it turns into a macro pullback signal, and it does appear as though they slipped me a couple of ticks on that entry. So, boy, oh boy, they really are bouncing around today. Come on, get up there. Come on, you can do it. So I'm really tempted to take my stops down below here. Darn it. Okay, I'll move them up a little bit. We'll go with the ATR strategy. No, we won't. It's on the wrong side. Nope, that won't work either. All right, so we're currently against the ATR strategy a little bit. All right, so that's the third attempt at these lows. That's probably a good enough time to start rolling those stops in. Yeah, they're going to try to run them now. Come on, buyers. I know you're around there somewhere. All right, let's get a lot more aggressive with our stop now. Oh, whew, that was close. Just got everything in place and they hit the profit target, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Oh, we really have to work at that one. It appears as though, right now anyways, the buyers might be trying to take the market into that big opening gap that we saw from the overnight. And we're starting to take some heat now from the sellers. You can see the reluctance of the market to head higher. Look at the width on some of these bars. It's a little bit more obvious with the smaller screen, but you can see there's a lot of trading going on here. A lot of contracts getting moved about. Let's take a look here at the Geiger counter. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I'll see how the band is widening here and the buyers and sellers both absorbing the trade. So now the buyers take the upper hand. So a lot of buy orders coming in. See how the sell orders are a little bit lighter. And now look at the sellers come back here. Jim's watching the DAX for me. He says the DAX is testing the highs. Okay, so we've had a profitable trade to the upside. I'm going to be a little bit more inclined to be a buyer because of that. But they're getting all crazy on me now. Okay, where are we? Yeah, we're about quarter to the hour. I figured as much. All right, so here's a couple of changes. Here's that red bar buy signal, which we can take to the long side, but we can also set up to sell it on a failure. The nice thing about shorting it on the failure is that very often we can set it up with a little bit tighter parameters. I see we're getting a trend change signal here on the Falcon also. We've got the warning dots. The trend line has changed over. We've got our up, down, up pattern. This one I would probably want to risk above the highs, and I know I just said that I would probably concentrate more on buy signals than sell signals. But, you know, we had this buy signal to the upside, which didn't have the follow through. So we'll see now whether or not the market's going to try to run a little bit lower. All right, that worked out okay on our hawk signal, and we're almost, let's see, we may have to nurse our Falcon trade a little bit. Hooray. All right, 3 for 3, that's a little better. After yesterday, it was such a crazy day. And now it looks like we're getting some support again. Let's see if we can find out what's going on. Well, it looks like they're following the trend line pretty well this way. If I move that trend line down here, oh no, we've got a little bit of a break below this area here. So we did have a trend line that looked something like that. Now we've broken outside of that range. I was thinking perhaps there was some support down here off of the trend line. but it does not appear to be that way. Definitely back at important support zones. Look at the size, the width of these bars here as we encounter support. You can always tell support or resistance with these equivolume bars because the width of the bar. The bar is going to be getting wider because now all of a sudden you've discovered an area where there's going to be more buying and selling activity. Sellers trying to take it down, buyers trying to take it up, and that's going to make the bar a whole lot wider. Oh, it looks like our first micro macro cross here also had some follow through, and even though it came rather late, it was still enough to get to our profit objective, which is nice. This one, it's one of these situations where, yes, it's a first micro macro cross signal, but where do you cover it, right? You'd love to cover it just above the high, but you really don't know if it's going to turn into a macro pullback. Therefore, I'd probably end up covering it a little bit deeper. Obviously, it turned out to be a little deeper than necessary, but hey, it's still a profitable trade. Rather be in a profitable trade than yesterday where the market was chopping so much, stops me out only to reverse and go in the direction I intended, which is very annoying, to say the least. We're nearing. Oh, way to go, Jim. Jim bagged 20 points. Nicely done. Uh, Jim's asking, when are the equivolume bars coming out? And you know what? I am going to check with Adam right now. Oh, he's not online. I think Adam may be out of town at the moment. Let me see if I can find out, though. So we'll see. I know he was talking about getting a preview or a early release out to DTS owners this week. Yeah, what a tease, Jim says, I know. Well, he partly asked me to test them to make sure there were no more bugs in them. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of sideways action here. Oh, Adam is online. He's going to give me the lowdown here in a second. And while we're waiting for him, let's take a look at what's been going on in crude oil this morning. Here's crude oil on the Eagle. And we've managed to get ourselves back into the hard edge, and we're producing a green bar sell. Now, because this market seems to be starting to slow somewhat and go a little bit sideways, I would expect this green bar sell to be a little bit more a test of the extreme than maybe, a full resumption of the downtrend. I do think crude oil is getting a little bit stronger. Like the longer term charts, if you look at a daily and a weekly, it does look as though crude oil prices may be trying to press a little bit higher. We don't have a complete bottom in yet, so it's just speculation, but that's kind of how it's starting to look to me. So that's not to say, crude oil can't pick up a thousand, 100 ticks to the downside today. Just that we had this little bit of a down move here, a little bit of a up move, this shorter down move, and then the quick little up move. This is telling me that there's a lot of buying going on around here. And the buyers are essentially testing this level here from the 46 to the 46.10 area. And the sellers are defending, looks like around 45.40, maybe 45.50. Therefore, anything like this is going to, I believe, look a little bit more short term. Oh, hold on, Adam. Coming through here. Oh, he put something together for you guys right away. All right, here you go, Adam. Just put together a special for you guys in the room here, and girls. I hope you know that it's the generic guy. I've had somebody get a little bit upset at me the other day. I didn't mean anything by it. All right, so there's your discount code. That's 20% off the Equivolume bars. And hold on, he's just getting me the link. He says that will be good for a week until the end of the month. And here I'll get you the link for the bars. I haven't even seen this yet. So let's see. Now, the nice thing about these Equivolume bars is that they're you can use them on any chart style. Any chart style. Well, okay, any chart style, with the exception of things like point and figure charts and things of that nature. But they work with the mean Renko bars. They'll work on tick bars. They'll work on, well, no point putting them on a volume bar. Volume bars are all spaced the same. All right. Adam wanting me to let you guys know that the 20% discount is only available to DTS owners. The general public offering, the promotion that's scheduled to start Wednesday, is only going to be a 10% discount. So there you go, a little heads up for the DTS owners, a little customer loyalty, if you will. Oh, well, he's in a very generous mood today, folks. Adam says if there were any other system add-ons that you were contemplating buying, he will extend the 20% to the entire purchase. However, you need to contact him because he's going to have to process that manually. And there's Adam's email in case you did not have it. All right, let's see what we got going on here. So, okay, a little bit of a macro pullback in play, maybe. Our macro pullback is also turning into a late filter entry here on the Falcon. I'm a little reluctant because of the sideways nature of the bars, but let's see here what's going on. Are we trading near a trend line? All right, so there's the macro pullback signal. It just triggered. I probably would have set it up something like this. try to take this trend line into consideration. Crude oil didn't even give us a chance on that green bar sell. They've put in a little bit of a rally. Soybeans still kind of comatose today. All right, well, let's scrub that order. Yeah, that macro pullback still working away. I'm trying to get a handle on which way they're looking to go. The problem is, well, here, let's take a look at the Raptor. It's probably going to show it as well as anything. So the session opened down here, rallied up, rallied down, rallied up, and now we're dead neutral again. You can see the first hour parameters here, the high and the low, and the market, well, respecting that pretty well. Certainly a run up here to the highs around 273, 274, 4273, 4274 would be welcome. That seems like a very probable target. But you see, we're starting to get some conflicting signals here. We're into the hard edge on the Eagle. We just produced a trend change signal here on the Falcon. Now we're getting a red bar buy on the Hawk, a trend change on the Raptor. Okay, and working on a first micro macro cross to the downside. It could probably set it up like this. Now, of course, we can run that first micro-macro cross a little bit deeper, maybe get a little bit more structure on it. There you go. Come on down. Come on. Just take out those lows. There you go. There you go. All right. No! Which side did they hit first? Oh no. I think they tapped the break even. Scoundrels. How can they get so close and then take a quick look back? It's probably going to head a little bit lower from here. Let's see, did I delay my entry? I thought I took my entry on the hash mark there. Oh yeah, they did. They tapped me at break even. Stinkers. Yes, I know. Jim, you don't have to type. I know you're going to tell me, lose that break even. I'll save you some typing. I know. Tony, yes, that 20% discount is for the Equivolume bars. And Adam said that he would extend that to any other add-ons, system add-ons that you're interested in. There's quite a few there. But if you're going to ask for the discount on something besides the Equivolume bars, you need to email Adam directly, because he'll have to, that discount code that I provided you with, the automated checkout is programmed to recognize that. However, you can't use that code on other things. It won't accept it. That's why Adam needs to process your order manually or give you a custom code for it. I don't know exactly how he does it. Joe's asking to take a look at the euro. Great idea. Let's take a look at what's going on in the 6E. Yeah, I know. Adam's in a really generous mood today. That's not like him. Oops, I forgot these things are being recorded. Honest, Adam, you're always a very generous person. No, I'm just teasing. He knows I'm teasing him. He's a good sport. All right, let's take a look here at the 6E now. This is the 6E on the Eagle. Sorry, drew a blank there for a sec. And it looks like this market pretty much in a downtrend today. The European session opened up here. They tried to put in a little bit of a rally, got knocked down, got our first trend change signal over here. If you didn't catch that one, look at all the activity here at these lows. No question here whatsoever that this was a significant area of support, pardon me, right through here. So from this whole region, from right about there to right about here, look at how the bars start to increase in their width. But what's more interesting is what happens after the breakout. We get the breakout, we're looking for that retest, and there it comes. And what's nice to see is that when the signal produced, we had some width to these bars. They weren't these little toothpicks. They were toothpicks going up, which suggests there wasn't a whole lot of buying pressure. And then look at this first candle that formed lower. It started to get some width to it. So that would give you a little bit more confidence on the breakout. And now, unfortunately, that leg was a little bit short. I was expecting a little bit more of a move out of that. So this current move may develop into something a little bit more protracted. We might get here into the hard edge, maybe have to wait for a green bar sell to come out of that. Let's take a look at the euro now on the Falcon. And you can see we're working an early trend change signal here. So this was that sell-off that we saw on the Eagle. Not nearly as easy to get here on the Falcon flip-flopping a little bit. The euro is one of these markets. Normally those instruments that trade at 12.50 a tick, I go to the adjusted settings on the mean Renko bars, namely 4-tick Hawk, 4-tick Falcon, 6-tick Eagle. But the euro is big enough that you could trade it on the default settings also, the 6, 8, 12. And from what I'm seeing here on the Falcon, the default setting may actually, well, I was going to say be a little bit more desirable, but it's only recently here that the filter and trend line and everything started to break up. So working now a trend change signal to the downside. And not a whole lot of participation in that, although we are getting near the end of the European session too, aren't we? They're starting to wind things down in Europe. Here's the Hawk. Oops. All right, so here's the Hawk now. A little bit of a jumbled mess. First micro macro cross, I suppose. No, the filter didn't go out of sync. So it was a macro pullback that got spoiled by yellow bars. Don't have our 4-arrow consolidation yet. Just kind of in limbo. But you can see here earlier, for those of you who live on the East Coast and are early risers, the euro is always a good market to take a look at. And because it's euros, you can always pick up a couple extra dollars on the exchange also. But there were some very solid signals here through the overnight session. Nice first micro macro cross. Plodded along a little bit, but made a fairly decent move to the downside. Certainly enough to find your high probability profit targets. This first micro macro cross was spoiled. Green bar sell. Yeah, that would have been worth taking. Note we didn't really have a test of the extreme of these lows here. So that green bar sell, oh, and it looks like it actually coincided with the trend line. So anytime you get a signal producing off an obvious trend line, it's worth a try. Because believe me, you're not the only one who sees that trend line. So there was a relatively easy scalp on the euro. But right now, look at that trend line, which was above, is now lending support. Or seems to be lending support to the market. Which is in a little bit of a sideways channel. Yeah, I suspect the euro may try to put in a little bit of a rally, get to that green bar sell, that hard edge on the the eagle that we saw. That seems likely to me. All right, what's going on in our backyard here? So starting to get signs of support here. So market dipping a little bit. All right, let's see. They've definitely put the brakes on here. Looks like the buyers, see, we had this little island of selling on the Raptor here on the Geiger counter. A little spike in the selling. It may have been some stop running or just sellers flat out getting out of the trade. Wow, look at this Geiger counter. Oh, I see Joe's asking, you're short on the euro, and your target was 111.36, short from 111.76. Okay, so you sold here. Well, you know what, Joe? It's you're almost to a position where you can get the trade to break even, right? You can cover above that little swing high. This one right here. I think the problem you're going to have is you may be running out of time in the session. Yeah, that would be a reasonable spot to cover. Just above here. It's also going to get a little bit of trend line support. I would think if it reverses and breaks the trend line here, it's probably going to test the high, probably get back to the hard edge, whether or not, I don't know where your existing stops are, but I'm assuming they're somewhere around here. Whether or not it will actually challenge that zone is hard to say. We know that when the market breaks a significant support or resistance area, as it did here, we can expect two moves in the direction of the breakout. So there was move number one. That's the move that broke it. We're currently working on move number two. And normally moves 1 and 2 are the largest moves of the breakout. Moves 3 and 4, if you get it, not to be trusted. But I think if it were me, Joe, I would roll a stop above that high. It'll take a whole lot of pressure off. If it goes down, great. If it reverses, heads higher, well then, you might as well pack up and go. There you go. There's my 2 cents. Giving your money's worth. Oh, you're at break even. Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't worry too much then. If you're at break even, you're in good shape. All right, so we're getting a little bit of a reversal going on now here in the in Q. We noticed all those islands or spikes in the Geiger counter. Sellers getting out of their short positions. All right. A failed macro pullback here. Possible early. Oh, no, that's changed back. I was going to say possible early trend change signal here on the Falcon. Oh, it's coming back around. No, it looks like they are going to try to press a little bit lower still, are they? Yep. Lots of buying pressure here. Just loads and loads of buying pressure. See if the buyers can move them back one more time. Hmm, what a battleground. Oh, while we've been watching this, and I've been keeping an eye on the euro, looks like the euro may be heading lower after all. Crude oil made a major reversal. So they rallied off of support here, gave us a trend change signal, went two full zones right to the median line, then turned on their heels and came straight back down. Just a very odd day for crude oil. Not a whole lot of opportunities here this morning. In fact, the first one, let's see, they opened right here. That was pretty much the only tradable signal, at least as far as the Falcon is concerned. Okay, so we had that um, early rally in the market, and since then, an entirely different flavor. I thought we were going to see a little bit, see the buyers pull through there, but nope, they didn't. In fact, they did give us a noteworthy first micro-macro cross signal right here, which also found its profit objective. I'm not real upset about missing it though. If the market truly is set on heading lower, I should get another chance. We've made it down here to the secondary support line on the support and resistance suite. Actually, after a nice trend change signal here off of this one, drifted the full zone. And they're still not done. All right. Well, that's okay. I'm not looking to be too aggressive on the buy side. Just snooping around to see if there's anything interesting going on, but yeah, the NQ here, a huge decline, much bigger than obviously I anticipated. Otherwise, I would have got on board there. I was thinking that the buyers were going to step in a little harder than they did. Folded like a cheap suit. Question here from Tom. Tom asked, did I update all the mean wrinkle bars to the equivolume? And yes, I did. Yeah, that's why some of the bars are fatter, some are thinner. The fat one showing us more volume. Watching the euro here, rooting for Joe's trade. It looks like it's trying to head lower. So getting a little bit of breathing room on your trade. Made another little swing in there. And what did you say your profit target is down here? 111.36. Yeah, that looks doable. Looks like they might try to check out that bottom end of the trading range, which would be just what you want. Yeah, Jim writes, anyone having issues with the equivolume not showing up in your indicators, emailed Ben, just curious. You need to restart Ninja. So when you load the equivolume bars, you have to shut down Ninja and reload it, and then they'll be there. I had a similar problem, and I said to Ben, what's up with this? And then what happens is you'll go to your data series, and it will be here in your chart style. Just a word for those of you running the Falcon. When you first load your dynamic equivolume bars, they're going to look like this. Let me show you here. You're going to say, well, that's odd. What happened to my wicks and tails? If you're running a black background, you've actually got a black wick. So while you're here in your chart style and you've loaded your dynamic equivolume bars, change your wick color to white or whatever color you want. Make it purple if you want. And then you'll get your wicks back. For whatever reason, that's only happening on the Falcon. Probably because the Falcon is the only one printing with the default wick color. The other bars are all printing with their own wick color. But there you go, just so you know. Oh, NQ, look at you go. Serious tumble today. I'm definitely going to have to run my antivirus program. My poor computer seems to be bogged down. My wife has the habit of clicking on all these sidebars that come up on the internet. And of course, you know, that loads your computer with all kinds of spyware and stuff. So I think we'd have to do a little cleaning here after the room closes. You can also, just dealing with the equivolume bars here for a moment, you can also manually adjust the width of the bar slightly by holding your control key and moving your arrows, your up and down arrows, in particular your down arrow, because the bars will print relative to the other bars on the screen. Like what the equivolume bars are doing is they're comparing the volume, say, of this bar with the volume of every other bar on the screen. So if you reduce the number of bars on the screen by 2 or 3, it's going to reflect that in how the bars display also. Now, usually, you know, deleting a half a dozen bars off your screen isn't going to make a real big deal, but sometimes it can enhance the chart a little bit for you, make things a little clearer. No, Jim, the equivolume is not in the indicator. You want to go here, you want to go to your data series, and then here where it says chart style, yours probably says candlestick. Click on that drop-down menu, and you should get the dynamic equivolume bars. Yes, I know it's a little bit confusing. I suppose we're going to need to do an installation video, or just have Ben install them for you. Yes, okay, that's odd, Jim, that you only have the open and close. Here's one other thing you can do. Go to your, first let's make sure you have it installed. So go to your control center, go here to your utilities tab, and now to remove NinjaScript. We're not going to remove it, we just want to make sure that they're actually installed. And they should be in your assortment there. And if they are, that's all good. You can just close that out. You don't need to remove anything. But if they're not there, then obviously they haven't been installed yet. So you may just want to give that a quick look. Okay, so they're there, and you've restarted your Ninja. Let's see, I did have a similar problem. Oh, you know what I had to do, Jim, too, when it was doing that for me one time? I had to reboot my computer. Don't ask me why. I think I just had other issues going on. But if you reboot your entire system and it's still not working, then yes, you need to get a hold of Ben, because I don't know. Usually it's not that troublesome, but every once in a while, you know, our computers, they get a little bit of a mind of their own. All right, so it looks like we finally entered a little bit of a pullback phase, or the market finding some sort of support. Um, here, we're going to close out the session here in a moment. Here's an interesting little prospect with a green bar sell. We haven't had it tested the extreme yet, so it would make sense to try to short it, see if we can't get that test of the extreme, a little bit of a run here to the short side. But the nice thing with the green bar sell is you can always buy it also. You can set it up to trade the failure. Now, to do the failure, I usually try to risk it a little bit lower. The reason being is if this does turn into a test of the extreme, well, this is the extreme price. That's the one that I want to be below. But we'll see if we can't close out this session with a little bit of a push to the upside. The shoot, totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yes. The green bar sell, of course, is a weaker signal. So you can always use it as an early warning, right? If this trend is going to, in fact, change direction, we will get a first micro-macro cross signal. Well, there they go. They just hit our profit target to the downside had we sold it. And it looks like we can scrub that for the moment. All right, folks, I think we're going to button up the room here for a moment. Oh, look at that little spike in the Geiger counter. All that selling. Traders trying to load up here. If you're going to be trading the rest of the session, well, I do believe that the market has given us a pretty clear indication which way it wants to head today. So I think you're better off being on the short side than the long side. However, A pullback does seem likely at this point. Oh, absolutely, Tony. Tony's got a question. Go ahead, Tone. Right away. Let's see if I can find your earlier question. Oh, sorry, I missed that entirely. Sorry, Tony. Tony is asking, what is the tick value of the 6E? That's the euro. It's 12.50 a tick. And Tony's asking, how is the volatility of the 6E when compared to the YMNQ crude oil and soybeans? The 6E is a very good instrument. It trends very well. The Europeans seem to be a lot more civilized than us North Americans when it comes to trading. They'll pick a direction and they'll tend to stay with it. So here, let me bring over the euro. This overnight, not the best example, and perhaps I should be showing it on. Let's take a look at the euro here on the regular settings. Pardon me. So we'll just give that a chance to load. Like I said, the euro, unlike some of the other instruments that trade at 12.50 a tick, like the E-mini or soy, can do quite well with the standard settings that we use, and that's because the euro, well, there's just that much more trading going on. So you can see nice first micro macro cross signal here, nice macro pullback signal, great follow through. Let's go here to yesterday's session. Again, nice first micro macro cross, great follow through, another macro pullback, really good follow through. Nice little first micro macro cross here about, well, just around the London Open. Day before that, like, look at that. You couldn't ask for a nicer trend. Oh, actually, this was during the North American session even. So first micro macro cross, down they go, macro pullback. Let's see what they did during the European session. Oh, a little bit quiet. This is a little unusual. Of course, the euro being a European market normally is more active during the European session than it is during the North American. This must have been, what was going on? The 18th, last Friday. Okay, well, for whatever reason, they had a little bit of a sell-off. Let's go back one more day here and see if we can't get into the I had a friend who did very well trading the euro with the Falcon. I could be showing it to you on the Falcon also. And this is again during the North American session. So that's very unusual for the 6E. But you can see that it's producing some very nice moves. Good follow through on the signals. First micro macro cross. Though that macro pullback got spoiled by the yellow bar. But still, no problem reaching our profit objectives, and then some of the moves actually translating into larger rallies. Nice macro pullback here, which unfolded rather quickly. This must have been around the FOMC minutes. I'm just guessing by see how quickly everything unfolded here. But still, very nice signals with decent follow through. So the reason you're probably thinking, well, Eric, why don't you show the euro more? And I suppose maybe I should. I haven't looked at the euro for a long time, mostly because the best signals came in the overnight. when the North American session opened, you'd have about an hour of trading, and then, you know, it's evening in Europe, the European exchanges are closed, and there wasn't a whole lot going on until midnight my time again. So it was a market that kind of took a back seat, but you can see very good follow through on it. The 1250 a tick can be a little bit of a holdback because it's going to, on these tools like the Eagle or even the Raptor for that matter, you may have a harder time structuring a trade. Like here's a little green bar sell, which we should be able to cover, you know, above the obvious highs. Oops, no, I can't do that. See that 1250 a tick? The ranges, they just add up that much faster. So I'd end up, at least for my account, I would have to structure things a little bit tighter. No, I can't even do that. I think that's why I went with the smaller settings on the Euro also. Here's the Euro with the Eagle with the alternate settings. Yeah, there you go. That's why. The alternate settings actually allow me to pick up a couple of trades. The British pound is a nice alternative, although it's a little bit more volatile than the euro. But as far as volatility goes, the euro is very low, but with very good follow through. So I guess the best of both worlds, really. Crude oil is still far and away the most volatile, although you wouldn't know it from what the way crude oil's been trading the last few months. And soybeans tend to be relatively calm. The problem with soybeans is if you're trading the soybean market, you need to be aware that you are opening yourself up to the possibility of a limit move. Now, limit moves are very rare. I've never, touch wood, been stuck in a limit move, or at least on the wrong side of a limit move. But if you're trading a market that has a daily trading limit, like soybeans or any of the grains for that matter, there is always that possibility that you could get stuck in a limit move. Now, it's not the end of the world. There are things that you can do to protect yourself. If the market you're trading is stuck in a limit, you can always pick up some options. The option pits don't have limits to them, so you can still offset your position using an option. It's going to cost you money, of course, but hey, relatively speaking, it's cheap insurance. The YM and the NQ I really like because of their tick values and because of their consistency and the amount of volatility, especially in the NQ. I think right now the NQ is my pet market. But it changes. You know, a year ago it was the YM. Before that it was the mid cap. So it's okay to move them around a little bit wherever you see opportunity. But as far as volatility goes, you won't go too far wrong with the 6E. Yeah, Joe says it's pub time in Europe. That's why they're all, the market's kind of slowed down. But hey, Joe, you're making some progress here. You might see 111.36 yet. All right, you guys, just a reminder, because every Wednesday I get an email from somebody saying, was the trading room not open today? We're moving to the open house trading room, the public trading room tomorrow. So that's a different link. I'll see you there tomorrow morning. All right, talk to you then. Bye for now.